JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. Woman shot dead and policeman wounded in domestic dispute. The estranged baby mother for police constable is dead after she allegedly attacked the lawman outside his home in Maysmere, Little London in Westmoreland, Thursday night. The deceased has been identified as 38-year-old Janice Francis, a cosmetologist from Albany housing scheme in the parish, who shared a child with the cop. Reports indicate that around 7:40 p.m., the constable, after concluding duty, went home. Upon arriving at his house, he was pounced upon by Francis, who had been waiting in the dark outside his residence with a machete. It is reported that the constable drew his firearm and a tussle ensued, during which Francis was shot 3 times through her upper body and the lawman received a gunshot in his palm. He was reportedly taken to the hospital by his neighbors, where he was treated and released. Francis was taken to the hospital by the police, where she died while undergoing treatment. It is alleged that Francis had been stalking the constable for some time. Tufton condemns assault of nurse by driver. The St. Andrew businessman who was seen in a video assaulting a nurse during what is believed to be a case of road rage has been arrested and is to be questioned on Saturday. The incident occurred Tuesday night along Mount Friendship Road in St. Andrew at about 7. The encounter was captured on video, which has since gone viral on social media. Commanding Officer for St. Andrew North, Deputy Superintendent Randy Sweeney, confirmed the arrest.
I can assure the public that the suspect has been taken into custody and the investigation is ongoing. I must add that having learned of the incident, the police was very responsive and the suspect was arrested and taken into custody. He is to be interviewed with his lawyer, also asking for anyone who witnessed, and we believe that there were several persons who witnessed this incident, to please cooperate with us. Let's come forward and give us a statement. Of course, this will help us with the investigation tremendously.
The uncle of the nurse, who requested that his name be withheld, spoke in an interview on Friday. He said the accused man was blocking traffic and appeared drunk when his niece was attacked. According to the uncle, his niece, who is in her mid-30s, was on her way to work at a corporate area hospital. He says upon reaching a section of the roadway, she encountered a motorist driving recklessly ahead of her in a Mercedes-Benz.
So when she coming down, the Benz in front of her and the man a drive away in the road. So coming down now, it's like he might go in the middle of the road and out and in car like him drunk. And he stop and talk to somebody. So she said she had two hand and I said, oh, no, can pull over for me because me late to work. So if you can pull over, make me pass. Me said the man get, I said, who is that? Who is that? Huh? Who is that? A blow. He come out and get angry and spit in her face. So she said she'll fling a bucket of water upon him and he spit in her face again. 2 times he spit in her face. He jar out of the vehicle and start assault her and lift her, fling her gun upon her back and a step in her face and back gun upon her. And the gun drop and a man take up the gun.
In the shocking video, the man is seen tussling with the nurse, who was dressed in a white top and white trousers. The video was recorded by another motorist. At one point, the man appears to lift the nurse, flip her over and slam her to the ground. A motor vehicle partially blocks that specific act, but the woman's feet can be seen briefly in the air before her body hits the turf. What was clearly seen was when the man drags the nurse directly behind the right rear wheel of the motor car and then stands on her head with his right foot. In the video, onlookers can also be heard begging the man to stop. The nurse could be heard crying out in agony. The uncle says the incident has left his niece traumatized.
She said, put me lick the vehicle, so him that kill me. The uncle I said, bossy, stop, you can't do the girl, so then try to hold him or nothing. Because you see the one who have the gun, you see me wrestle with him to get back the gun from him. In the video. Yeah, she had ball for her shoulder and her neck. Because I remember saying walk in her face, you know. She get released, but she still have pain with her hand and thing. So I don't know, she kind of traumatized because all her foot bottom cut up because she not driving her shoes.
Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, has strongly condemned the physical assault of the nurse.
The incident that took place involving our healthcare worker must be condemned as a heinous, brutal act, and we must ensure that the law takes its course and the perpetrators or perpetrator should be punished to the full extent of the law. At this point, the health system through the University Hospital of the West Indies is providing care to our healthcare worker, and I've reached out to her relatives and will continue to offer whatever support is necessary for her full and speedy recovery. In the meantime, I urge all of us to recognize the importance of our healthcare workers, the essential nature of the service they provide, the fact that they have to be on the roads at all hours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that we provide the support that is required of them to get to work on time and to help them to achieve the life-saving purpose for which they were trained and that they're committed to. Again, I condemn this act and hope that the consequences of those actions demonstrate in the full extent why this is unacceptable, while we continue to give support for the full recovery of our healthcare worker.
Meanwhile, the Firearm Licensing Authority FLA says it has taken immediate action in response to the video showing a man in possession of a firearm physically assaulting a nurse. Corporate Communications Officer Kate Amoy Goldburn says a thorough investigation will be conducted and the necessary legal actions taken. The FLA also reminded licensed firearm holders that brandishing or using a firearm to intimidate or assault a person is a criminal offense. It says it will provide an update as soon as the Board of Authority makes a decision regarding this matter. The FLA is encouraging the public to contact them at 876-927-6057 or the police, where the witness or know of any misuse of firearms by licensed firearm holders. High-end bikes seized in major police operation in St. Elizabeth. 5 high-end motorcycles, including 2 BMW bikes, were seized in a major operation conducted by the St. Elizabeth Police on Wednesday. According to Superintendent Coolidge Minter, head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, the investigation was initiated following the recovery of a motorcycle reported stolen in the United States, which was found in the parish at an adjoining premises.
Superintendent Coleridge Minter, St. Elizabeth Division. This morning, major operations commenced across the St. Elizabeth Division. A number of areas were impacted, particularly on the southern side of the parish. Areas to include Junction, Tophill, Southfield, and we're currently in the Marsville New Building area. Where we are, a number of motorbikes were seized. 5 high-end motorbikes, to include 2 BMW motorbikes, were seized at this location. It is important to note that this investigation commenced several weeks ago, where 1 high-end motorbike was seized in an operation not far from here. That bike was stolen in the United States, and intelligence led us to a particular address. As we expanded that operation and that investigation, it led us to this premises where the other 5 motorbikes were seized. The investigation will also expand beyond the JCF, given that these bikes carry a CC rating of 1,000, and at least one of the bikes has already been registered to a local owner in this area. We will continue our investigation with the other authorities, to include the Island Traffic Authority, the tax office, and to identify where persons who may have assisted in getting this motorbike to be so registered. Another motor vehicle was recovered this morning in the main area. That motor vehicle was stolen and is now in the custody of the police. The operation is ongoing at this time. It's a joint operation between other formations from the JCF, to include PSTEB Specialized Operations or AFAT team out of area, as well as members of the Jamaica Defence Force. I want to appeal to the owner of this premises that we're at to report to the Black River Police. He or she is required for questioning as to the origin of these bikes. I also want to assure the citizens of St. Elizabeth that we will continue these type of operations across the parish to ensure that St. Elizabeth remains a safe parish for citizens or visitors and all those who will traverse through this area.
Agman charged after robbery at Clarendon Bar. A 24-year-old labourer has been charged after allegedly holding up a bar and robbing and shooting a man, charged with robbery with aggravation, wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of ammunition is Alex Grandison, otherwise called Agman or Gussie, of Kensington, Steigerville in St. Catherine. According to the Maypen police, at about 8:25 a.m. on April 29, Grandison, armed with a gun, alighted from a vehicle and entered a business establishment along the toll gate main road in Clarendon. He allegedly ordered the patrons not to move and then proceeded to rob a man of his belongings. Grandison and the man reportedly got into a tussle and the man was shot. The patrons fled and Grandison reportedly made his escape in the motor vehicle. On Wednesday, May 7, Grandison was arrested and later charged after a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. His court date is being finalized. Taxi driver may be the culprit in Donnelly's disappearance. The defense team for Constable Noel Maitland, the boyfriend allegedly behind the disappearance of social media personality Donnelly Donaldson, sought to establish that a taxi driver or stalker may be the actual culprit. Maitland is currently on trial in the Home Circuit Court for murder and preventing the lawful burial of a corpse in connection with the young woman's disappearance. Sophia Lugg, Donaldson's mother, earlier testified that Maitland had picked up her daughter from her home on July 11, 2022, and that she last spoke to her the following morning, but that attempts to reach her after failed. However, Christopher Townsend, during his cross-examination on Thursday, questioned the mother about Donaldson's use of a taxi service and the number of companies she would use. He first asked Lugg if she was aware of a particular taxi company that her daughter would use, but the mother indicated that her daughter did not use that company. She used several, he asked. She used 3, she answered, naming the companies. The mother admitted that her daughter used a specific driver to move around, but said she did not tell the police about that. Lugg also testified that her daughter would do deliveries 2 to 3 days per week. Townsend also inquired from the mother whether she was aware that her daughter was promoting her business on Instagram and had pictures in which she was modeling swimwear and lingerie. Lugg said she knew, while pointing out that her daughter also had videos. As she complained to that persons were looking at her page and made uncomfortable sexual comments, Townsend asked. No, sir, she answered. Are stalking? Townsend added, to which Lugg answered in the negative. She never complained about anything like that. The lawyer probed. No, sir, Lugg said. You said you were close. Townsend continued. During further cross-examination, Lugg disclosed that her missing daughter had her passport when she last left home with Maitland before vanishing. The mother said Donaldson documents for reasons. The mother already denied claims that her missing daughter had been trying to conceive a baby with Maitland and had suffered 3 miscarriages. You're aware that your daughter, Mr. Maitland, were trying to have a baby? Townsend asked Lugg. No, sir, she answered. You're aware that she has not had 1, not 2, but 3 miscarriages? He continued. No, sir, I'm not aware, Lugg replied with a smirk on her face. JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.